Hi, everyone. Thank you for. Oh, I'm sorry. We started again. Hi, everyone. I'm back again. Sorry, I haven't been around for a couple of weeks, but I've been very, very busy running amok up and down the countryside. And one of those running amok up and down the countryside was Dave and I went to Canberra weekend before last to go to Floriade. And this is something I've always wanted to do and have never been in a position to do it. And so Dave was rather keen to go and have a look because he'd never been. So we booked ourselves some accommodation and off we went. The weather, thankfully, even though it was absolutely appalling everywhere else, was really good for us. It was sunny and, it was still cold because, it's Canberra and it's October. But we had a great time. It was really good. Floriade was a bit of a bust, I have to say. I can remember when I was a kid, which was like 40 years ago. My parents would go because I had an aunt and uncle that used to live uh, just down the road from where it's held. And they used to go, and my aunt and my mother used to spend whole weekends just walking through the whole thing. Mum said you could spend a week there and not see everything. And so I had this maybe a little bit of an unrealistic coming post COVID and stuff like that. Maybe I had a bit of an unrealistic idea of what it would be having those many years pre COVID of it being, Chelsea Flowers Show Australian style. So, we got to Canberra quite early, booked into our accommodation, and decided that we'd go and have a look at what was going on so we could figure out where to park, what to do for the next day, because we were hitting it hardcore Saturday. This was on the Friday that we went. And so we drove up to the area, and it was about a bit before 4, I suppose. And we found a car park there, and then we found a place to park the car, like 10 steps from the entrance to Floriade. And we're like, okay. Commonwealth Park is a really big park. Right, okay. So then we got out of the car and we went through the entrance, and we're like trying to get any kind of information out of, park and ride and whatever out of the people, the helpers at the gate, who were, as usual, completely pointless. Um, and we learned nothing. So we thought, okay, we're just going to walk around now and see. And so it would have been lucky to be the total area would have been lucky to have been 5 acres. Of that 5 acres, you had stall holders, you had a carny section with a Ferris wheel, which you can see in the thing. FYI, the flowers don't look anything like that. And the tulips are quite nice, but it's all kind of, I would have thought that since it had already been going a fortnight or so, that the beds would have been more developed, but you had a lot of mulch, and so it didn't look like that. We walked around, and there were some really, I mean, the tulips were beautiful. Not as many as I thought. There weren't as many people as I thought there'd be, but then again, 5 acres isn't a very big area. And it was all fenced off with those cyclone fence things that you see put around construction sites. So that added to the, oh my godness, to the whole thing. So you didn't even have a nice drive up. There were just bollards and cyclone fencing and pointless people at the gate. And we did Floriade in an hour and a half, and that included stopping at a couple of the stalls to get stuff and some. I wanted a fridge magnet to prove that I'd been. I don't know either. I just do. Yeah, so it was kind of, it's worthwhile going to see pretty flowers if that's what you're into. And I wouldn't make a special trip to Canberra now that I've done it. I think I don't need to ever do it again. But you got to do these things. So then, we went back to our accommodation and planned the next day. The next day, because, we were supposed to be spending all of Saturday at Floriade. So we're like, what do we do now? So Dave, being Dave, decided that we were going op shopping and doing a bit of mall crawling and things like this. And I'm like, okay. So I gave him a circumference. I gave him a 5 kilometer radius. You could go out round because I wasn't driving all over Canberra for op shopping. You could keep it to this amount of space. And he managed to find 6. I thought that was a small enough area that I would only do 1 or 2 and then we could go on to something else. But no, he found 6. So we spent the whole day op shopping, and we went to Woden Mall, and we went to a couple of other little shopping complexes, which were really cute. And we found really nice things there. I found some shirts and all sorts of stuff. So it was a really fun day. We had a really fun day. We were both completely stuffed by the time we got there, completely and utterly buggered. But it was another really, really good day. We went home and watched some DVDs, and then that brought us to Sunday. So Sunday, we had found that there were these very unique markets that are held in the old bus depot, and it was actually, we drove past it on our way going home, so we thought we'd stop in, and they were very touristy, very tourist knick-knack, city prices for stuff that you should really only pay $5 or $6 for. They got $50 or $60 on it, but go them. If they can make the money, knock yourselves out. At that same complex, there was a glass blowing center. Now, we had more fun at the glass blowing center than we did at the markets, because they actually had a glass blowing exhibition going on, and there was actually the guy who was doing the glass blowing had a whole lot of stuff that had won all these awards on exhibition in the exhibition. So we walked through that and we watched the glass blowing, and it was really, really interesting. He was actually teaching somebody how to do glass blowing, and that was really cool. We stood there and watched that for quite a while, and then we went and had a look at his stuff that he'd done, which was really kind of awesome. And then on our way home, we're driving out, going past Gold Creek, and Dave said, "It's a really nice day. Have you ever been to Cockington Green?" And I said, "No." And he went, "Oh, what?" And I went, "No, always wanted to go. Never had the opportunity. Never." And so Dave said, "Right, my treat, we're going to Cockington Green." This was the absolute highlight of the trip for me. If you're in Canberra, you have to go to Cockington Green. It is so, so cool. I think because I lived in England for so long in a lot of these little villages that are just like Cockington Green, because Cockington Green is actually a place in England that Cockington Green is modelled off. It was amazing. Just the amount and the different stuff and the whimsical, funny little things that they had, like, in one of the backyards of the houses, there's somebody doing archery and somebody's peered through the bushes and they've got an arrow through their head, and this sort of thing. It's really really, really amazing, the amount of work that has gone into there and the different types of displays that they've got. So they've got an international section, they've got the original Cockington Green, they've got train rides, which we didn't go on because, but they actually have a display of China, antique doll houses with the antique dollhouse china in them. Amazing, just amazing. Well, I think I spent just as much time looking at the antique china and the dolls' houses as I did out in the actual green. It's a really, really worthwhile place to go. I'm sorry, I don't have any photos to put up with this because I just had the one from Floriade, which I pinched off the internet. So sorry. Because my camera died, as it does. You take it all the way there to take photos, and it dies. And then my phone died as well. I was having a great weekend. Lots and lots of drama. But anyway, it was a great weekend. It was a really, really awesome weekend. So if you live in the area or you're looking for somewhere fun to take the kids, uh, do it. It's really. I thought the prices were very, very. You can get family prices if there's a bunch of you, or you can just go in as adults. There's annual memberships and all sorts of things. It's really, really, really great. I mean, I've been to the War Memorial and Black Hill Tower and all that stuff. I had an aunt and uncle there who've since moved, but I've done all that stuff. I don't need to go to Parliament House anymore. Anymore. So we didn't do any of that because we have both done that on various school excursions and various private holiday trips when our parents decided to torture us just that little bit more. And so it's there's so much to do in Canberra, and it's such a lovely city, and it's so easy to get around. Well signposted, lovely roads. Our accommodation was only worker accommodation. It was lovely. It was right in the middle of everything. It was soundproofed, so it was lovely and quiet. I had a great kitchen, great bathroom. Bed was really lovely. So, yeah, that's all about our holiday to Canberra. So, um, I hope you've all had a good couple of weeks, and I hope to get another book review to you real soon. Okay, bye.